Hey guys, welcome back. This is Fakes and SoulWind Game 2 in CALLOUS Invitational 2 lower CALLOUS Invitational 3 Round 2 lower bracket. I hope you guys enjoyed the first game. It was pretty good, pretty close. Before we get into this game, let me remind you to check out the description. There you could find a link to our CALLOUS Invitational 3 Discord server as well as our official thread. So check those out if you want to stay current with this tour, be involved in things as they happen, all that good stuff. Here is the second game between these two, keeping in mind that the loser of this set is eliminated from the tour, so that could be SoulWind as early as this game if he does not win. Here's the game. So, it is SoulWind on the bottom again, Fakes on the top again. It's a Zapdos lead this time for both guys. They both had Mirror Meta last time, and now they have Mirror Zapdos. And it's going to be SoulWind staying in, and Fakes not. He goes to Celebi. Toxic misses on the way in, Leech Seed connects, and Toxic will connect on the second attempt, putting a bit of a clock on both of them, probably just prompting a switch from both sometime sooner rather than later. Celebi out for a T-Tower now, establishing Sand. There was no Sand in the previous game, now there is. T-Wave connects, and there is no Lumberry, so T-Tower is going to be paralyzed, it seems. Focus Punch coming down. And it's going to be a Swampert on the bad end. Will it connect through Para? It will. That is not Choice Band damage. It's going to do 32%. T-Tower probably scared to stay in here, but just in case, SoulWind switches to Scarm to scout for HP Grass, and we simply end up with Scarm on Scarm instead. See if one of them has a Magneton or Taunt. Nope, neither. They both just go for the straightforward spikes. One layer down for both guys. Make that 2. And no, it's a Taunt now for SoulWind, who actually has the slower Scarm with Taunt. Interesting. So 2 layers beneath SoulWind's team, 1 beneath Fakes. Now it's 2 as he spikes on the switch. Zapdos comes in, threatening to give him a little bug bite. Bzz! Little bug zapper. Here comes Celebi. There is Thunderbolt, 18% on the way in. He did have to step on the spikes, and we got the Sand going, so there are some residual damage effects in play here for sure. Here's Scarm, and there's Recover. Simple enough. So Celebi back to 100%, and Fakes with a little bit of tempo advantage here with the ability to spike up, Whirlwind up, whatever he needs to do. Leech Seed and Spikes respectively. That is the third layer beneath SoulWind's team, still 2 below Fakes' team. Both players do have 2 unrevealeds, but there is no spinner shown yet for either guy, though either could still have 1. And Leech Seed is going to be an over-prediction, do nothing. Roar is going to drag out Swampert here. He will mooch some of the health he lost back from the Leech Seed since he just stepped on the 3 layers of spikes. And we'll see what they both want to do. Fakes is going to go back to Celebi. That makes sense to me. And it's going to be a failed Protect for SoulWind, but he will get lefties back in doing that. And he may Protect again here if that's what he wants to do. He doesn't. He goes to Scarm. And it's going to be a Recover turn from Fakes, who is trying to take advantage of what he might have thought would have been a Protect turn from the Swampert and do more than nothing on that turn. In this case, Recover. Leech Seed and Spike, so they now both have 3 layers beneath them. Again, either player could have a spinner, but has not shown that just yet. Leech Seed going to be an over-prediction and a fail. We saw a very similar situation in the reverse not long ago. And now a Toxic is connecting to put a clock on the Celebi. See what they both want to do from here, but there will be switches from one or both of them in the near future. Scarm for Fakes, and over-prediction Toxic here, hitting something that is immune to it in the opposing Scarm. Leech Seed mooching and getting Fakes back up to almost full health. It's an over-prediction for Fakes as well, Toxicing into the other Scarm, and there is a taunt to force the other Scarm to do one of 3 things, Drill Peck, Switch, or Struggle. See what the play is here. Switch makes sense to me. T-Tower comes in, and Zapdos is going to be staring that down. All the T-Tower has shown is Focus Punch. It's not banded, we see here. Not that we didn't know that it had lefties, but it has lefties, and Swampert is going to come in to meet it, hoping to come in on a Rock Slide. SoulWind is correct with his read. It is Rock Slide, and he's going to take that fine. See if Fakes wants to stay in and risk an Earthquake or a Water attack here. It's going to be Celebi coming in instead. It is just Surf, 9% going to hit the Celebi, but he's very safe here to go for a Leech Seed or a Recover if that's what he wants to do. Swampert also has to be careful of a potential Grass attack. Celebi has only shown Leech Seed and Recover, so we don't know what attack it has. Could be Psychic, could be Giga, could be HP Grass, could be HP Fire, but a Grass attack is definitely possible here. SoulWind again, just protecting for lefties. It also wastes the Leech Seed PP, so that's great. He's got plenty of those left though, 12 of them, so that's not an issue quite yet. Might actually be less than 12 because it doesn't keep track with pressure correctly. I don't recall if one of the Leech Seeds might have been into the Zapdos. That definitely could have been a thing. But either way, PP not an issue at this moment. Calm Mind now for Celebi. So whatever his attack is, he's only got one attack. Usually on the Calm Mind, Leech Seed, Recover, Blank set, the blank is usually Psychic, and there's usually a Dugtrio in the back, which makes a lot of sense to me, because the Scarm really appreciates it too. He's got the Dougie Revenge-killing Magneton that might trap it, and then also the Dugtrio would remove T-Tower on the other side, which SoulWind has not shown yet, which would enable the Celebi to not be completely blanked by something that is immune to Psychic. Additionally, Dugtrio helps against Metagross and Jirachi, which again resists Psychic. So for this mono-attacking bulky Celebi, and this is an old set that I used to like a lot back in like 2012-13-ish, Dugtrio is kind of like an automatic partner. So I'm going to assume that Fakes has that somewhere. But after all this boosting for both players, Fakes chickens out and gets out of the way. This is very dangerous for him now. The only way he's going to get away with this is if SoulWind can't touch his T-Tower either. And that appears to be the case. He gets out of the way after all that. He doesn't have a Grass attack. A Grass attack would have insta-killed the T-Tower there about 100 times over. And SoulWind would have been in great shape, but he doesn't have it either, it seems. They both have only Psychic for attacking options, it seems. So neither one was interested in that matchup. Fakes got away from it first, and SoulWind followed suit. And we're now back to a normal game. All those boosts, and it is crisis averted for both guys. Usually in a Combine War, they're both just obligated to sit in there and go for it, and whoever gets the first crit wins, which is shitty, but that's how it often goes. But we managed to avoid that in this game. And also, despite both players having Roar and Whirlwind opportunities with the Scarm, we've still not managed to drag out whatever the last Pokemon is for either guy. They both still have two unreveals, and we just don't know what they are. I think this is a Dougie, like I said, for Fakes. I think that's a pretty decent bet. And we have Scarm on Scarm here. Make that Zap on Scarm. Fakes with the tempo advantage here. The burning question, does either player have a spinner? But I like to think that if one of them had a Claydol, would be best case scenario, I think that would have found its way in at some point already, and they would have tried to push the issue of removing these spikes. I could see why it might have been more difficult for something like a Starmie to come in these situations, especially when there's things like Celebi and Zapdos that could threaten it hanging around. But Claydol has definitely had opportunities to come in for either player and try to remove these spikes, so it kind of feels to me at this point like maybe neither guy has that. Zapdos does get a rest off for SoulWind. We end up again with Celebi on Celebi. We saw before that neither player was overly interested in this matchup. They both Calm-Minded up a million times only to have a T-Tar come in for Fakes and force out the opposing Celebi. And this time Fakes is just going to do that immediately. He's not going to play this game. There is a recover there from SoulWind. We think that Celebi can't actually touch it, so T-Tower has a free opportunity to do something here. Swampert comes in again, stepping on those spikes, and Hidden Power there is Bug, not Grass. That was aimed at Celebi. It'll still do a decent chump to Swampert, but T-Tower has to be careful here of Surf, which is definitely in Torrent range, or of Earthquake. It is Surf. It does more to Celebi than last time, obviously, because the Torrent boost, but Celebi still takes it really well. Only 15%, very safe to get a recover off here, and SoulWind springs his trap. He finds this opportunity to go to his Dugtrio, but I think unless it's Adamant Dugtrio, he's about to get bad news. That's a bulky Celebi, and it should live this Hidden Power, and indeed it does live comfortably. Baton Pass from Fakes is the last move, so it doesn't even fend for itself. The Celebi is just trying to pass those boosts. He's Calm Mind, Leech Seed, Baton Pass, Recover. It does not even have attacks. And we finally have our first knockout of the game via spikes, and that's going to be Fakes with the advantage. However, T-Tar is coming into Gengar, which usually means Pursuit or Crunch. Hidden Power Grass comes down. No, it is just Rock Slide, and it's going to do very heavy damage. However, the faster Gengar threatening the knockout with HP Grass here, and it certainly doesn't look like SoulWind can live that based on the damage roll last time. Celebi comes in, hoping to come in on HP Grass. He is successful in that endeavor. Now he needs to be careful about Fakes blowing up on him. Ice Punch also dangerous if there's going to be a Dugtrio follow-up, which I still believe is the last poke for Fakes. And honestly, the Boom only supports that theory. That just says, hey, Dugtrio plus Explosion, that makes sense. That's synergy. Here's Zapdos now. There's no point of revealing Dugtrio when we know that SoulWind does not have a Rapid Spinner and that Celebi is effectively dead one way or another, so I agree with the play that Fakes made there. He now has himself a 5-4 lead with the one unrevealed that I really think is Dugtrio, obviously. Right, guys? It's a Swampert. That makes a lot of sense, too. And that's going to come in safely on a Rock Slide. So nearly identical teams from these guys. A lot of overlap here. In fact, the only difference, Pokemon-wise, obviously they might have different sets and EVs, but as far as just species of Pokemon, there's only a one Pokemon difference between these teams. That is a Gengar for Fakes, whereas it is a Dugtrio for SoulWind. Fakes with the advantage at this time. He's got that 5-3 lead, pretty comfortable. Zapdos comes in to kill a Sleep Turn. He's on the bad end of Ice Beam, but he's specially bulky here, so he's going to take that relatively well. He's killed one Sleep Turn. He lives a non-crit Ice Beam here, should he stay in. That is what happens, and it is not a crit. So SoulWind is going to survive, and he's got the ability to threaten with an HP Grass here, which he hasn't actually, or no, he doesn't have HP Grass. He has Toxic Thunder Wave Rest, and his last move would be Thunderbolt. And SoulWind is actually just going to concede at this point. That is arguably premature. I mean, he's not in a good position by any means, and I guess he can't meaningfully harm the Swampert, so it's certainly looking bad for him, but I'm surprised that he didn't play it out. Perhaps he's still a little bit frustrated or unmotivated from the previous round where he did not like the way that those matches went. Nevertheless, this result is going to stand. There's no reason that it shouldn't. Fakes is going to win the set 2-0, and SoulWind is going to be eliminated from the tournament. If you guys enjoyed this set, this game, the tournament, please do give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Your subscription would also be very helpful to me on this channel, trying to get back up to 100 subs. We're at 91 at the time of this recording, and we're getting there. So yeah, man, help me out in any way you can. I'd really appreciate it, and there's definitely going to be a lot more content today. It's Sunday. It's the day that everybody plays. Look forward to more matches in the near future, and thank you for watching.